Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to talk about the 2024 general predictions for the sign of Pisces. So if you're Pisces Moon or Pisces Ascendant, then this video is for you. These predictions are based on Vedic astrology, and first and foremost it is important to look at the transits from the moon. The reason is that every event that happens in a person's life will have an impact on the mind. The moon, as everyone knows, rules emotions, and the transits from the moon will tell us what emotions a person will feel, and the houses will tell us which area of life it will happen. Then you can look at transits from the Ascendant to confirm an event. That way you can get a more precise prediction. For example, if Jupiter is transiting the 7th house from the moon, that means a person can experience some growth and happiness in their relationship. Then from your Ascendant, if Jupiter is transiting the 2nd house, then we could make a prediction that a person may get married, because Jupiter in the 2nd house would show expansion in the family. So that's the basic idea. The first area of life, career. Saturn, the natural significator of career in astrology, is transiting in your 12th house during 2024. Which can give both positive and negative results depending on your natal chart. This position of Saturn will almost certainly cause job changes, because the 12th house is the dissolution of old lifestyle, old habits and old things, including your employment. So even if you don't change your job, your specific role can be reprofiled. This could happen if the company or business you are working for goes through a restructure where some positions are no longer required and those employees are moved to a different role. When Saturn transits the 12th house, it means that a person may not want to take on certain responsibilities or additional responsibilities in their work. But Saturn is all about realism and fulfilling obligations, and that's why generally Saturn does not feel comfortable in this house and therefore wants to escape or leave, because they may not want to take on certain work. When Saturn is in its Mool Trikona sign in the 12th house, this is a really good time to use your work and skills to create a positive change and make a difference to the world. For example, if you are a teacher, you could actually go and travel to an impoverished nation or part of a country and educate disadvantaged children. Here you are letting go and giving your skills and knowledge to other people. Because Rahu is also in your 1st house in the sign of Pisces, you will be focused on how you personally can become more compassionate and giving. Saturn in the 12th house means that you can be forced to travel to connect your work or business with the rest of the world. So if you are working in a multinational company, you may have to devote your time and impart your skills to staff in another office in another country. So traveling for work purposes is a real possibility during 2024. If you have a business, here you can actually expand your business to other countries. So you could be providing some of your goods and services to the rest of the world. Now we can't forget Jupiter, because it is the planet which is ruling your 10th house. The first 4 months of 2024, Jupiter will be in the 2nd house, which means that if you are thinking about changing your job or you need to find a job, then the first part of the year is a good time for that, because Jupiter is aspecting both your 6th and 10th houses. After April, it will move to the 3rd house, which isn't a bad position, but it can be a little bit more frustrating for you, because Jupiter in the 3rd house will force you to be hyper focused and look at the finer details. So you may have to travel for work, communicate more, and overall work harder to meet your responsibilities. Because Jupiter is a planet that doesn't like to be restricted, it has an innate nature to be expansive and focus on the bigger picture. But it can't quite do this in the 3rd house. For finances, Rahu transiting the 1st house and Saturn in the 12th house means that you can spend a lot of money on yourself in 2024. Pisces is a very generous sign and seeks comfort and pleasure, So you will try to make yourself feel more fulfilled, happier, and whatever desires you have, you will spend time and money to chase them. Here you can also spend time and money on health related expenses to heal yourself if you are suffering from any ailments. Saturn in the 12th house can make you spend money on travelling, not just for work but for pleasure, because Aquarius is the natural 11th house, and when it sits in the 12th house you are chasing your dreams. So it's a year with very high expenses. Rahu is a planet associated with economic benefits, but in the sign of Pisces, it is more about spending and enjoying rather than building. Having said that, you can have some financial benefits depending on the sector you are working in. If you are in healthcare or if you are working abroad, you can earn well during 2024, but your expenses will still be higher. Jupiter will help you save money the first 4 months of 2024 because it is in the 2nd house. But once it moves to the 3rd house in May 2024, it means that you will have to work much harder to save money. Jupiter is a natural significator of the 2nd house, and when it moves to the 3rd house, it means that you need to put extra effort and work harder to save money. The sign of Aries sits in the 2nd house, which also means that depending on your natal chart, your finances can generally fluctuate and lack a little bit of stability. For relationships and marriage, because Rahu and Ketu are sitting in your 1st and 7th houses, it means that 2024 you will generally be more focused on yourself, and you could take some time outside a relationship to really find yourself. You will want some personal space to give you room to grow. This year is to remember who you are as an individual and guard against the formation of codependent bonds where the relationship can begin to define you. So if you are single, you will feel quite content this year, and overall this is a period of self-exploration. If you are married, Ketu in the 7th house means that you may not be able to fulfill your obligations as a partner. Marriage itself is a contract, which involves living together, supporting each other. So it doesn't mean that you will separate. It could mean that you might be spending less time with your spouse, because you might be really busy with your work, or you might be traveling for work. So you could be occupied by other priorities. If you are single and you have lots of planets in the sign of Libra, or because of family or cultural pressure, you are longing for a relationship, with Ketu in the 7th house, you have to relax your requirements and be open to any person. Ketu in the 7th house will not allow you to have any superficial relationships. So if you are after someone purely based on appearance and socio-economic status, then it will be a difficult time to maintain this type of relationship in 2024. Ketu in the 7th house is about coming across someone with a deep spiritual connection. Jupiter will be aspecting your 7th house after April 2024. But because Ketu will still be there, it can cause breakups. So for example, you could meet someone, date, and then after a couple of months, things could end. Now, there will be some Pisces people who do get married in 2024. And the reason that would happen is because they have met the person who has some of the Ketu qualities, such as being very spiritual and having a selfless nature. For health and wellness, Rahu in the 1st house means that your soul is urging you towards finding greater meaning and understanding yourself. You could be thinking and asking yourself the question, who am I? Rahu in the 1st house can give medical related expenses because Rahu represents drugs, medicines and x-rays. So you might have to attend a medical center and put your body through some sort of medical equipment and take some sort of medicine. Now, this isn't anything to worry about because people go to healthcare providers all the time for the smallest of things, which can be cured with over-the-counter medication. Because Pisces has an introspective nature, During 2024, you can find yourself in isolation. This could be because you are working in a faraway place, away from friends and family. It could be spending time in a medical center, or it could be that you want to be with your own thoughts during this time. So you have to take care not to isolate yourself too much, and always reach out to family and friends. So overall, 2024 is a year with job changes and possibly travel. It's a year with high expenses and a year where you could be focused on your own personal desires. So that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section below, or you can email me at exaltedmercury8@gmail.com, and I will see you next time. Thank you.